4 years ago, the Warriors for Animal Rights Club was founded. A group of 5 ninth graders less than a month into our high school careers, we reached out to the Food Services Department and pitched the idea of Meatless Mondays. 1 day a week, when the district would only serve plant-based options, an initiative that would reduce the district's environmental impact, promote animal-friendly eating, and help teach students healthy eating habits.
I was just getting started in food services. I think it was just even before COVID. I had, 4 months or so under my belt.
No, I remember being super pessimistic. I thought that there would be so much pushback from food services, cafeteria staff, and students.
And we spent probably a month writing that email together. We wanted everything to be perfect. We did tons of research for it. We sent her probably a 4-page email.
I remember saying, this is exactly where I want to be, because I've been in school food for a number of years and remember trying to get any kind of initiative started. So to see that this initiative, and this was brought to me by a kid or a student, I'm gonna love it here.
She got back to us the next day and she was like, this sounds like a really cool idea. We want to help you, but you need to do a lot of the work too.
Over the next few months, the Warriors for Animal Rights Club jumped right into that work. Learning to navigate USDA food regulations, we started drafting menus. We conducted surveys to learn what kinds of food students wanted to eat in the cafeteria. We put together a huge outreach campaign that included an educational video we put together that every student at the high school watched, and a Kahoot about the environmental benefits of plant-based eating, which every student at the high school played. We designed posters to hang in the cafeteria, slides to display on cafeteria monitors. We were interviewed live on Community Access TV.
We started with a pilot and we said, let's do it in one school. And I remember explicitly saying, if it doesn't work in one school, then we can't. If we start losing money, or if the participation decreases on a Monday, then we have to reconsider. We can't expand it if we're going to be losing funds.
Although Meatless Mondays had the support of food services and had started at the high school on a pilot basis, the club wanted to make sure the initiative would last past the pilot phase and even under another future food service director who might be less supportive of the initiative. So, we drafted a policy outlining the district's explicit support for Meatless Mondays, which passed the Brookline School Committee in October 2022.
Your vote, Stephen?
Yes.
I vote yes. Valerie?
Yes.
When Meatless Mondays first started, did people notice?
No, not at all. They had no idea for a good 3 months, I think, and then we told them about it, which came from us. They wouldn't have realized on their own, I don't think. And that's when they started complaining.
Meatless Monday is a tough initiative to get buy-in from students and everyone.
People first, they didn't even realize at first, but when people first heard about it, their instinct was to be no, even though it didn't have that big of an impact, hearing about it made them almost more angry.
But you did a lot of work in terms of promoting it. We took the risk. It was risky, but we did not see a decrease in participation, which is every director's dream. We were able to expand it later on.
Meatless Mondays were so successful at the high school that, with the support of food services, Warriors for Animal Rights sought to expand plant-based options on other days of the week too. So, we drafted and passed a school committee policy requiring the district to serve fully plant-based options in every cafeteria every day.
Suzanne, your vote?
Yes.
Andy?
Yes.
Orion?
Yeah.
Ellen?
Yes.
Nancy?
Yes.
Stephen? Yeah.
I also vote yes.
Meatless Mondays were so successful in their pilot stage that they were expanded to every school in the district permanently. As the plant-based menu expanded, the district started holding food tasting events with various vendors, mostly local companies innovating in the sustainable food space. We started serving kelp-based meatballs from North Coast Seafood, chickpea masala from Meal Mantra, veggie burgers from Boston Vegan, and yellow pea fritters from Commonwealth Kitchen.
One of my favorite things is that the cafeteria is the largest classroom in the school, and so I want kids to take and learn something.
In January 2024, the district passed yet another separate policy with large parts drafted by Warriors for Animal Rights, outlining some of the values it wanted to teach students. Among other things, the policy stated that the district will prioritize serving high-fiber proteins and minimally processed foods, and that, through the wellness curriculum, students will learn about the benefits of plant-based eating and how to structure a healthy plant-based meal. Already, Warriors for Animal Rights has begun working with middle school health teachers to design and implement those lessons.
We've reached every student at BHS through the advisory curriculum. We've reached every fifth grader in the district through a fifth grade climate fair. So these things are already happening.
And currently, because we don't have any, dedicated health education K to 5, we will need to think about ways in which we're going to implement some of that nutrition education.
Without formal nutrition education, we got creative. We made math worksheets where students calculated how much water, carbon, or land they saved over time by eating plant-based food, coloring worksheets for younger kids. As part of the science curriculum, we designed lessons about why animal agriculture is so resource-intensive. Behind the cow, there's this big field where all of that corn is being grown. Cows usually weigh upwards of 2,000 pounds, so they're really big animals. They need to eat a lot of food. And you need a lot of corn to feed them, and it's going to take a lot of space to grow all of that corn.
I think after the advisory lesson, people started realizing that this is actually something that's important.
There's so much that food service can do to get the word out to students, but the passion that you brought in bringing other students along was amazing.
So rather than telling people all the negatives that come with eating meat, we wanted to promote the positives that come with not eating meat.
We have forward food, this food, or to make it a little bit plant forward.
Perhaps the biggest commitment the district has made yet was signing the Forward Food Pledge, a commitment that at least 50% of the food it serves will be fully plant-based by 2027.
So the Forward Food Pledge is part of the Humane World for Animals. We work with the very talented Sasha and her entire team to come up with ideas of products and recipes.
Signing that Forward Food Pledge, I think, is what kind of brought it all together. Not only did they provide us with training, we had a chef to work with, we have resources, we have a lot more recipes.
Students still have the perception that, oh, well, they just take it out of the freezer and put it in the oven, which is not true for most schools at this point, and certainly not true for us.
That's something a huge team of people make possible every day.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. So this is kind of like the main prep area. So where all the produce prep, Casa is doing the salad bar, Rosalia is making the packaged salads. This is the master. I say he's the drummer of the cafeteria. He keeps it going, be honest. You probably know Julia. Patricia is the main cook. She's amazing. We cut those yesterday. Those are red potatoes. Patricia's washing them, and then we roast them with just like olive oil and salt and pepper.
It was not just olive oil, salt, and pepper on these potatoes. They were also seasoned with rosemary, grown in the indoor garden right across the hall from the cafeteria.
There's a core of students who come in, some on Mondays, some Wednesdays, some Fridays. We plant, we harvest.
So they've been planting like herbs that we know that we'll use in the cafeteria.
Today, for lunch, we have rosemary potatoes, kelp-based meatballs, chickpea salad, and veggies. Even just 2 years ago, you wouldn't have been able to find a lunch like that in the cafeteria, but thanks to all the hard work Sasha, Rebecca, Warriors for Animal Rights, and more recently, Ellen Nyland, Irv Perrin, and Chef Tracy have put in, the cafeteria has changed and grown dramatically, not even just with plant-based foods.
Right now, except 3 schools that I'm hoping we are going to onboard next year, all are composting, all our kitchens are composting, the cafeterias are composting. We use reusables. We also did other things like eliminating small packages.
We're a fairly large size district and we have buying power, and so we've started talking to vendors, large food processors, like this is what we're looking for. If you want to sell to us, this is where you have to get it. So I'm sure that it's going to make it a lot easier for other districts who are trying to do what we've done.
Everything at some point comes together, right? There are like a movement, it starts like a little bit, and then it's like a domino effect. At the same time, it's like, okay, that is the right moment.
In 2023, Warriors for Animal Rights lobbied state legislators and helped add 3 paragraphs to the Massachusetts state budget, establishing a commission to study the availability of plant-based foods in school cafeterias across Massachusetts. Then, they helped get Sasha Palmer onto that commission.
We've done such great work that commission is going to come into our district to take a look at what we've done. They're going to do a tour of our district. And it started with Meatless Monday.
Thinking about how now, like, they're the freshmen, when I was a sophomore and the freshman now, like, because it really is more of a sense of, like, this is just how we are. I definitely think even with Meatless Monday and with the vegan option, like, I'm like annoyed. I have to wait in a long line, like, you know, which is like annoying, but also good. It means people are interested.
Thank you, food services.
Come on, Warriors for Animal Rights.
Yeah, amazing.